Bitch, on these days are pricey. Can I be your wifey? You don't know I love you. Can you hold me tight? And you do it copyright. And we riding this a thing. You riding me for life. Can you be my lifeline? Baby, for a lifetime. Can you give me what I need? Baby, it's a ride. You got what I need, baby. Is it love for real? Can you let me know for sure? Yeah, I wanna feel. You already. Hey y'all, so recently I did a video of talking about how Arionne and Martell have seemed to be moving on with their lives, so forth and so on, despite all the situation. But I also in that video stated the fact that I kind of would rather see a video spinoff of Martell and Arionne at this point opposed to Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that video did fairly well, it's doing fairly well. So I didn't make it clear on why I said what I said, but some people commented on what I said. And so I'm just going to get into further depth on why I said what I said, because anything I say, I can back it up, right? That's what we do. We talk about it over here at the DK His House. So what's good? What's up? Yeah, we're talking about it. All right, so if you like any parts of this video, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and join the Per T gang. Here at the His House, you're part of the Per T. Per T is alleged T on me, meaning alleged, not confirmed or denied, just discussion. That's it, that's all. So, some stuff Per T turns out to be true, but I'm just saying, allegedly Per T. All right, so the situation from reason why I said that I'd rather watch a spinoff show for Arionne and Martell opposed to Love and Marriage Huntsville right now is the following reasons. Let's get into it. Because it seems as if it's so scripted right now. It's like everybody's getting booted off the show for just being real. And it's like Melody is one of the co-producers, and she kind of says who she will allow and who she won't allow on the show. And I don't really think that's fair. I feel like it should be a non-biased party, non-biased situation. Everybody need to get paid. Everybody need to get their checks, and we just need to sit here and observe it and go from there. So that's one of the reasons, because I don't feel like Tisha's mama should have been taken off the show for saying what she said, because she didn't say anything directly about anybody, and there was already spoken on, and I feel like she's using her power to shut people down. And also the fact that Arionne was not allowed to be on the show because of the situation, which I get it, but it's still like, if she gonna be constantly talked about, defamed, named, like, why can't she be on the show? Get her bag too and run it up because she constantly being talked about. But I get it. That makes sense, right? Egos are at stake. Some people egos bruise easier than others. It's cool. No tea, no shade. But then it's the fact of, I don't know. I actually like seeing Martell and Melody together. It was one of my favorite duo. Not because I feel like they was the perfect couple, but because I just enjoy watching them. I don't know why, but I just did. So the fact that they're not even on the show together, it's like, okay, so now we're just basically gonna be seeing Martell by himself doing his thing, minus the person he's dealing with, because they're not gonna be allowed to be on the show. And then we're gonna see Melody doing her thing, her business, and her secret boo or non-boo that she's talking to, and it's nothing we can do about that. It's just not very exciting. It's just not. I'm just gonna speak on that. It wasn't exciting as it was when, like, they were actually together. They're no longer together, so it's like no purpose to really watch them separate, if that makes sense. Like, you can watch them separate, but it's not the same reason you're gonna watch a show. Like, you can watch them separate on social media. And don't get me wrong, I kind of watch them separately. It's just like, for a whole show, I don't know if it's going to have the same hit. And then on top of that, now that we've been on several seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville, I feel like everybody knows everybody's business, like their dirt, their secrets, and some of this stuff is dirty, deep. Now, I know how marriage can be because I was in a marriage, and sometimes this stuff can be grimy. Sometimes this stuff can be stuff that you don't normally talk about in public. Some of the stuff you gonna take to the grave with you. But it's like I'm seeing too many people's skeletons in the closet. And it's like, we know your marriage, your relationship may or may not be perfect. So why we want to sit here and watch it? Because when we think about love and marriage Huntsville, we think about a perfecto situation. And I really can't sit here and say that I feel like any relationship on Love and Marriage Huntsville is perfect in no form. Like, I feel like everybody has a challenge, everybody has an issue. So why do I want to see it? You know what I'm saying? I wanted this picture perfect situation, feeling like Black people could have perfect love. But then too, that's not always the case, because a lot of people don't marry for love. They marry for finances. They marry for prestige. They marry for society views. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of marriages are broken, a lot of marriages are torn, and a lot of marriages are not perfect, but it's just not what I signed up for. Like, it's so many people that I just look at them and you can tell they're not happy. Like, they're just there, or they may be cheating, but they're not going to tell their wife or their spouse, and they're just there. Like, that's the impression that I get, and that I have gotten, to where it's just not as appealing as it was when I didn't know certain things about said people. And watching a person staying in a marriage just for their kids, or stay in a marriage because of a show, is kind of crazy to me, even though I probably would do the same thing. Like, if I was married and I had a family dynamic, like, I would try to make it work with all my heart, as long as the person was willing to work with it as well. But the crazy thing is, it's just like, I kind of commend Melody for, stepping out, because it's like, that would have been another situation that we would have to endure and watch on Love and Marriage Huntsville, because a lot of people are not happy in their marriage. They're just existing. They're just there. And a lot of people are not strong enough to step out and move on. Like, I would say Melody, I feel like she's doing very, very well as an independent single mother of 4 children, and building her empire, her business. Like, I feel like she's handled it very gracefully and not bowed down or gave it in. And she used her fame to her advantage, and she capitalized on it. And I do love that for her. So I guess that's one reason why I'm just not as invested in the show like I used to be, because it's like I know everybody's skeletons, and it's just like, what's the point of me looking at your relationship if your relationship is just as perfect or less tumultuous as my relationship? And then you're reminding me of why I don't even want to be in a relationship, or why I need to check the person that I'm in a relationship with, because I don't want to have to deal with these same dynamics, the same situation. So for that, I'm trying to traumatize, and that's why I don't want to faithfully watch the show, because I'm a person who can see behind the facade. I can see past the bull, and I just don't have time to constantly be reminded of imperfection when I'm looking for an example of perfection. That's just that. And the reason why I said I would love to see Martell and Arionne spinoff is because, no shade to them, I always go for the underdog. Surprisingly enough, I always go for the underdog. And I feel like Arionne hasn't been able to speak her truth. She hasn't been able to capitalize on her name being constantly brought up, her name being constantly talked about because of the allegations, cheating allegations with her situation with Martell. And I feel like, as a woman, as a person, you would at least want to be able to speak on your situation, have people see who you really are and your stance without judging you. Or even if people are going to judge you, that you have a platform to speak on, to speak who you are. Because they from the gate, they was throwing stones at Arionne. And I feel like a lot of people wonder why I run to take up for people like that, because I'm always root for the underdog, because they already losing. They already don't stand a chance. They're already getting beat up. So they're just like a fight with 8 people jumping in on one person. Like, I'm going to always help the person who can't help themselves. That's how it is. Not saying she can't help herself, but if people going to come for one person, I'm going to always root for the underdog. It just is what it is. No tea, no shade towards any other cast member. It's just that I feel like she's gone in head over heel and survived, and she's even thriving in the fact that she's with Martell now, despite people really wanting that situation to fail, really wanting it to not to work, and wanted her business to fail, wanted so much to fail. She is persevering. I love that, because in life, I feel like life is about perseverance at times. When you feel like you're in your last leg, or you feel like you can't break through, or you can't make it through, you keep going on, you keep going strong, and then you make it, and you see that you make it to the other side. And I love that for them. But I also, because I feel like there was something that kept Martell interested. And you could say all day, like, yeah, it was just the bedroom and this and that. I feel you, but I don't care how good the bedroom is. At some point, you're going to have a conversation. You're going to have to coexist. And if that's the only thing keeping you together, like, it's futile. But then too, you're not getting any younger. You're not getting any, I don't know, like less needful. Like, you do eventually grow out of that. But like, if someone is making your day or your night worthwhile in some form of fashion, then why not explore it? And I'm just curious to see more of their dynamic, because it's been talked about, but it's something kept Martell going back. And I really don't feel like it was just the bedroom, Candy, because I feel like he really just got relief from Arionne. He really got comfort from Arionne. Like, she really groomed his ego. I feel like that was more the reason why he went back. They probably didn't even do anything all those times that they linked up. Just because a person link up doesn't mean they have to be doing anything. Just because a person's over another woman's house or another man's house doesn't mean they have to be doing anything. Sometimes conversation is what people need. Sometimes genuine bond, genuine understanding, judgmental situations is all a person needs and craves for. And I feel like something about Arionne really helped Martell get through some of his darkest time. And you may say, oh, he wasn't in a dark time. He had to be in something for him to want to leave a perfect situation, like a TV show, a perfect situation, a perfect, what we seen, like home, family, children, to go on and step on to the other side and risk it all. Like, he literally risked it all, despite the fact, yes, he did call her peasant on TV to save his face, his marriage. He did act like she was nothing to him, but obviously she is. They are together more than one occasion. They step out, and I just feel like that's a side that I want to know more about, because you can find out all day about the other woman, but you really don't know the story of the other woman. The other woman has a lot of the things that the main doesn't have, and if the man can understand what some of those things are, you can actually learn a lot more. And sometimes your man will be less prone to want to step out. It just is what it is. So I love the fact that she wasn't just a B call, just a once of a lifetime, once night or a fun time. Like, he really had feelings, I feel, in my opinion, for Arionne, that he just didn't really tap into, didn't want to admit to, because he knew he was breaking up his home. He knew that he was put himself in a situation that he couldn't get out of. And then even so forth, that a baby was conceived in the situation. And from what I've seen of Arionne, I don't see a vindictive person. I don't see a person who is trying to rub anything in anybody's face, even though people said that she is. I feel like she was just a woman who tried to tell her story, a woman who tried to save her own face, because people were talking about her and rubbing pies in her face. And as a woman, as a person, I feel like you should be able to vindicate yourself. And not saying that her and Martell's relationship is going to be perfect, but I do feel like it would be very interesting, because I feel like Arionne is a very funny person. And I think Martell is a very funny person. And I really enjoy Knox. And I also enjoy the kids. And I just feel like they are more realer than what I'm seeing portrayed on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So that's the reason I say, okay, I wouldn't mind seeing Arionne and Martell spinoff. So I just wanted to be clear on what I was saying and why I spoke what I spoke. And you feel free to say what you got to say down below, because I know you will. And I will respond, but I don't have to respond to everything. It just is what it is. That part, period. Join the Percy gang and be a part of his house if you like. We'd love to have you.